Alright, it is TCC challenge time, and the battery is dying just in time to record this. That's funny. So, this is actually a pretty decent team that synergizes quite well with each other, as long as they're not super resisted. So here the first wave is going to resist wind, but the team is so strong that it doesn't matter. So I guess we'll talk about them. Fujin obviously enchants everybody with wind with one of her buffs, and she imperils wind, so that should take the enemy's resistance down to completely negated. Arciela here is going to add her debuff. It's mostly for the speed, not so much for the max brave down, mostly for the speed down. And then Keiss. We all know what Keiss does, but for those of us who don't, hero support, hits 6 times, does 6 brave attacks, and then dumps the HP, and then batteries everybody based on the damage dealt, and then the next attack will automatically launch. Well, it gives an ally a buff that causes their next attack to automatically launch, and I didn't do it here, but if you target multiple enemies, then they all become one becomes launched and the others become launchable. But I didn't do that in this case because A, Fujin's HP attack plus is great for battering everyone, and B, I don't care about launching those other little things. They will probably end up dying anyway. Arciela is switching back to Ascension, so that way she can battery everyone with her HP attack. So you'll kind of see her, which I won't do here, but still good to do that. Her EX actually hits pretty hard if it's just one target. I mean, it hits hard if there's 2, but I've noticed some pretty high numbers with just one target. EX isn't quite up yet. Yeah, here I kind of realized, oh yeah, the darn thing resists wind. I was like, why am I not doing weakness damage? But anyways, HP plus, she should fully charge her EX for her next turn and battery everyone. You can see they're all just kind of bouncing back and forth with their HP pluses as far as the brave damage. As far as battering each other. And thank you for knocking Arciela back one to move Keiss up and allow him to be first in that launch. Or technically second, I don't know. Anyways, it worked out. So, what to do here? I'll probably just hero support Arciela. And then this will set up for another fantastic launch. Arciela is great for launching as long as it's not multiple targets, because her HP plus batteries everyone, so it sets up for some really nice launches. If it is multiple targets, she can still do it, like the next wave will have multiple targets. It's just not as fantastically synergistic. So, Fujin's HP plus to battery everyone, she takes the break. And actually, Fujin's really good for the second wave because they like to do some shenanigans where they take 2 turns in a row, and Fujin's, it's not really a counter-attack, it's more like an attack after they take their turn kind of attack. And I say that because counter-attacks typically require that person to be attacked. And for Fujin it doesn't, it just requires them to take a turn. They don't even have to attack, just have to take a turn. I'm trying to decide what to do here, like do I save Keiss's EX, do I save Sky High for the next wave, or do I just use it here? Like I could have maybe done a Brave attack and then risked that not killing him, and then the little add-ons would have had a ton of Brave to do big HP attacks, but I said, screw it, I just used his Sky High. And then this should finish this guy off. So this is the regular challenge where there's just some banned characters, a good amount. The ban list actually hit a ton of my budget units, so I wasn't really able to do a good budget run. The Extreme Challenge wasn't too hard, particularly compared to the previous Extreme Challenge, but I tend to not do Extreme Challenges because I just don't have the time, and there's a couple of really key meta units, meta-ish units that you could argue are relatively meta and still not banned, that I just don't have, that have been pretty common in a lot of extreme runs. Cater, I don't have Cater. I skipped Cater. And Renoa, I don't have Renoa, I skipped Renoa. So, yeah, I tend to not do extreme challenges unless, I mean, there's a few exceptions, but for the most part I don't do the extreme challenges. I mean, I probably could if I put enough time into them, but just don't have time for that. And God bless the people who do. So maybe I'll talk about the bad guys. They, the bad people, they do lots of things. Go check out Macnell's guide at thecityinfo.com to find out all the things they do. But their gimmick here is they will glow a blue aura and then take 2 turns in a row, which can be kind of rough because they hit relatively hard. Oh, and then I guess they start with brave damage reduction. And then this only allows for 100 turns, so that makes it pretty tough for budget teams, because budget teams typically have difficulty doing damage. That's usually their biggest challenge. So yeah, brave attack to not get broken. Probably wasn't necessary, because at this point, they don't hit as hard as they will when they start to lose their HP. And what I'm mostly focusing on here is trying to, it hit decently hard, but hey, it activated all the passives that require you to lose HP, so that's nice. But at this point, my mentality is, how can I set up for a good launch? And so if it's a good launch, I'll go for it. If it's not, then I'll just do a brave or an HP attack or whatever. But from this point on, it's like, how can we get a good launch without doing anything too crazy? Like here, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, no, that was safe. Never mind. And then if Fujin doesn't get battered... Oh, Fujin battered. So yeah, Fujin's attack after the enemy took a turn batteried her back up, so she's not going to get broken. Although Keiss's hero support allows her not to get broken anyways. But here we have a really nice launch, so I'll probably use one of her abilities to hit them both. Yep. This will launch this one and make the other one launchable. The only tricky thing is setting up a good launch for the other one that's launchable sometimes. These enemies are pretty fast, and so Arciela's speed down debuff is helping out a lot. Keiss also has a speed down debuff that he inflicts when he does his HP attack during the launch, so that stacks and helps. Yeah, see here I'm going to re-add her speed down debuff to the enemy, and then I'll switch back to Ascension on her next turn. Or I'll use her EX, and then I'll switch back. Usually it's one of those two things. But I'm mostly just using her debuff to try and keep the enemy's speed down. Don't want to attack the other one unless I have a good launch. Or if I just get frustrated enough after a while, then I'll attack it. Yeah, Selkie Throw is good to use if you're just like, well, I don't have anything else to do, I might as well do it. Keiss will recover his Brave from Arciela's fast cast. And this might actually, yeah, break enemy A before he gets a turn anyways. Yes, even here it's like, can't hit the other guy into a decent launch. And Keiss gets broken here, so there goes my decent launch. I think I was hoping B would recover, but that doesn't happen, and now Fujin's EX was up, and it was like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to launch the guy. With this team, though, it's not terrible if you only get a two-person launch, or you don't get a perfect launch due to the fact... So it's okay to throw away a few with this team. Yeah, see, Sky High is going to knock B back. It does a lot of damage. I'm surprised they made Keiss so strong like that, considering how strong he is otherwise. Fujin takes the break, but it's not going to matter because that guy's not getting another turn for a long time. Here we're going to break A, just to make it even more difficult to launch. I mean, I guess I could have been a little less orthodox as far as breaks to try and set up for better launches, but whatever. Here's just a little frustrating because I can't get the 3 of them in a row. We have Typhoon for the Esper, because that increases launch damage, and when the Esper is in use, it enchants everybody with wind. Yeah, see here I only have a 2-person launch, but it has Keiss, so whatever, works out. And see here I could use hero support on Arciela, but I don't. Oh well. One other thing to mention, I guess, is I gave Keiss Setzer's Sphere, so Keiss inflicts a 30% generic speed debuff whenever he does brave damage. Oh, there's a nice launch. Alright, good job me. And Fujin has Fujin's Sphere, giving Fujin a speed down aura. So, yeah, these guys are pretty fast. We've got a lot of speed down on them. And Fujin even gives everybody speed up. A generic speed up. And we're still having trouble getting perfect launches. Except for right here. Don't worry, it will all work out in the end, I'm sure. Now it's like, who do I launch? Which skill do I use? Hopefully I'll use skill 1. Yep, that will refresh the speed up buff for everybody. And I'm pretty sure it was about to wear off a Fujin. Nope, it was the attack up. Oh well. Yes, you don't want Keiss to start the launch, you want Keiss to join the launch. So I'm not going to launch A there. And then Keiss's next turn is pretty far back, so it's like, well, I can't really get him in a launch that easily. See, that's the only problem, is like getting the second launch off before this team's able to do another launch again. Now, I will say one thing to note is the enemy has not really done the attack that gives them 2 turns in a row yet, which is interesting and helpful. But this may not be the best example of this fight for that reason. Alright, so we brave attack B because we don't want Keiss to get broken here, so he can be in the launch. We're about to launch A. And Fujin's HP plus should battery everybody. Yep. So we have a nice powerful launch. And we still have Fujin's EX ready to do it again. So this team just ditches out loads of damage. So the turn count shouldn't be a huge issue here. And I enjoyed launchers. They're fun in my opinion. Yep, once again, I don't want Keiss to get broken. So I brave attack with him. Ouch. But whatever. Do we launch A? I think A may have lost its launch ability. Yeah, I think I got a little worried after that. I was like, yeah, she took a big HP attack. Let's make sure that max HP and speed down debuff is still active. And then we launch with Fujin's EX. I have Vaughn set as a friend, or Van set as a friend, but I never use him. Because, like, you know, who else am I going to use that's more powerful and synergistic than this team together? Certainly not Van, at least not for this fight. So if we use the EX, we'll heal up Arciela a bit, which is what we end up doing, I guess, but we're going to take a break. But due to the fact that after they take their 2 turns, we're going to get a bunch of turns in a row. Oh, there it is. So that will give A 2 turns in a row when A takes their next turn. Oh, and it buffs them with some pretty powerful buffs. One buff is a Brave regen, or yeah, Brave regen, and the other one causes them to do more HP damage on their HP attack. So that's rough to get hit with. Alright, so we broke B so that we could launch A here, and then Keiss could be part of the launch. And then we'll probably switch back to Ascension, which should also remove A's buffs. You know, it's funny, A buffs themselves, when they get their 2 turns in a row, they buff themselves with an HP up buff, but I don't really see them HP attacking on their first turn. Usually they'll try and do a powerful Brave attack to get a ton of Brave, and then possibly HP attack on the next one. I'm going to summon here, and then, because I don't really want A to get 2 turns in a row. So maybe this wasn't a great example of this fight, because they never take their 2 turns in a row. But Fujin's attack after they take a turn debuff is pretty helpful with that, especially with Fujin's Imperil Enchants allowing her to deal extra damage. So eventually I'm gonna launch here. I think I was hoping Fujin had her EX up, but she didn't. And now I might as well just dump hero supports. So I'm gonna do an interesting trick here. If you use hero support on Fujin and then use her C65, it launches 1, allowing Keiss to go right after, and then do a pretty decent amount of damage. That was a decent amount of damage. But because it doesn't take her turn, it leaves her to do the exact same launch a second time, with Keiss coming right behind her. And yeah, that was just like 600,000 damage between the 2 of them. So it's pretty powerful. And they die before I get a chance to do it to them again. Because I could do it to them again, but they'll die before I get a chance to. And it's a nice combination. You can also do that with Aphmau. If you use hero support on her when the puppets are up, her HP attack allows her to attack them both. And one gets launched, the other becomes launchable, and she'll get her turn again right afterwards, so you can launch the second one. And battery everyone. And then I think you can do that with Ultimisia if you use hero support on her and then have her use her EX, Apocalypse. Then she'll launch one, make the other one launchable, and keep the turn order the same. Although it's a little trickier, you have to really know when her EX is up. Whereas with Aphmau, you know when her puppets are available, because the puppets are above her head. And with Fujin, you know when her C65 is available because you haven't used it yet. And with Fujin, it also delays them all by 1 turn. So it's probably the easiest to set up. There's probably a few others that I hadn't thought of that you can do that with too, but it's a nice trick to do when you have Fujin in Keiss. And that's it. I guess I'll show the artifacts and stuff after this. Thank you for watching. Comment below if you want to. Thank you for MacNoll and TheCityInfo.com for allowing me to post this video up on the website. Thank you for Crystal Chronicles podcast every Thursday night for hosting the TCC challenge. So yeah, there's the orbs. And I probably could use more Max Brave, less attack for Keiss, but whatever. Arciela's one of the only people who I think I have perfect artifacts for. I was so lucked out on her event with that. Which was nice because she cost me like 350 or 450 tickets or something. And then nearly perfect, if not